covering news where you live. This is 5 News at 10.
And then all of a sudden, and just boom. All hell just cut loose.
Tonight on your 5 News at 10, we're hearing from more homeowners across the area cleaning up after today's severe weather outbreak. Plus, we're also getting more footage like this of today's severe weather. We'll have much more on today's events coming up in just a few moments. On this Weather Alert Day, good evening. Welcome to your 5 News at 10. I'm Darren Bob.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Garrett Lewis.
We'll get to those live reports coming up from damage all across the area in just a few moments. First, we want to show you some video that I think really captures what possibly is a tornado. This taken as the storm crossed Phoenix Avenue this afternoon. And Garrett, I want you to explain what we're looking at here with this dust and debris all going in one direction.
And motorcyclists driving into it too. This is the tornado. A lot of times you don't have to have the condensation funnel at the top of the cloud connected to the bottom. It was invisible, and a lot of times that's the circulation. It becomes visible when it fills with condensation or the pressure drops. That was the area of rotation, though, down at the surface. That's the debris envelope that you're seeing. That's all the dust falling. And like everybody that was out around Rogers Avenue East saw, it was raining limbs and debris a bit as the tornado moved through the south part of Fort Smith. The National Weather Service is going to be surveying this damage and giving it a rating here in the coming days. They'll likely find several tracks of tornado touchdowns from Greenwood up through Fort Smith, perhaps even into Ozark in that area. Likely weak tornadoes, EF0, EF1 type stuff.
Well, you can see the debris coming off roofs. You can see the power flashes. This is just a perfect trademark or signal or signature of a funnel cloud.
It sure is, and the tornado debris signature was also on radar, which is why at one point the National Weather Service called it a confirmed tornado on radar, because the debris was actually blown upwards and into the air.
My goodness. All right, Garrett, thanks. We'll check back in just a few moments. Emergency crews in Fort Smith say there were nearly 40 homes damaged by this storm system today. Power lines still laying in the streets. Crews working to restore power to hundreds in the south side of Fort Smith. 5 News reporter Joe Ellison joining us live now with the extent of the damage so far. Joe?
Well, Darren, every available body with crews, fire, police, they rush to help people in Fort Smith with this aftermath. And what they're seeing out there was things like this tree right here that was actually ripped from the ground. Now you can see that this is South 21st Street. It fell on this woman's home right here. Now she was inside that room whenever this tree fell. She was actually stepping out of it just in time. Take a look inside her home. This is video inside of Susan Lackey's home on South 21st Street in Fort Smith. She said she had just walked out of this room before a tree crashed onto her roof. On the outside, you can see the extent of the damage. In fact, her entire neighborhood looks a bit like a war zone.
I'm grateful. I'm just grateful.
Was this a tornado?
I think so.
You really feel like it was?
I really, truly feel like it. I really, truly do.
People in this area of Fort Smith were without power as crews spent moments after the storm cutting trees from the roads and blocking off areas that had downed power lines.
Well, since their gas meter's in the yard, I checked theirs. Okay.
With this much damage, fire crews were worried about gas leaks and were hitting the off switch every chance they got.
First 10-15 minutes, everything started, didn't look that bad. Then all of a sudden we started escalating. We started getting radio calls of trees down, trees on homes, power lines down, sparking fires. It just went from 0 to 100 in no time.
The Sebastian County Emergency Management Office opened up to run logistics for crews out in the field and say damage wasn't only contained to Fort Smith.
Second line of storms come in directly after they hit the southern part of the county. We had 2 structure fires, one in Hartford and then also one in Huntington, where possible lightning strikes. It's kind of unknown, but they happened simultaneously together as the storm was passing through.
Emergency crews say they know it will be a long road of cleanup ahead and want to help homeowners who think they'll need it.
For the tree damage, if you do not have anyone to support removing trees off the home or off the property, go ahead and give us a call. We have community partners that are willing to come out and at least assess the damage, see if it's something that they can actually handle and actually can support you with.
County Emergency Management urging anyone who needs immediate assistance to give them a call. They say their phone lines are open 24/7. You can leave a message there. They'll get back with you. Reporting live in Fort Smith, covering news where you live, Joe Ellison, 5 News.
All right, Joe, thanks. An update from OG&E. They are now reporting a number of customers still without power tonight. This is a photo that actually shows the impacted areas from Fort Smith to Mulberry to Ozark to Clarksville. Some 6,000 customers in Fort Smith still without power tonight. At the height of this outage, though, upwards of 11,000 customers in Fort Smith were left without power. This is what happened on Rogers Avenue. Sparks flying from a Gino's Pizza sign that shorted out after the storm churned through earlier this afternoon. Fort Smith Police Department sharing photos of today's storms on social media. These photos shared on their Facebook page of a home on Hunters Point Court sustaining extensive damage from falling trees. This pretty much happened all over the place today. Here's a closer look inside the home of the damage. Thankfully, nobody hurt. Police say 3 trees crashed into that home from today's storms. Family and friends, neighbors all in Fort Smith. Some of the hardest hit areas all coming together to pick up the pieces following today's storms. 5 News reporter Juliana Clipson there now live and spoke with some residents following the severe weather. Juliana?
Today's storms blew through this Fort Smith neighborhood, leaving behind a trail of debris. I'm on Jenny Lind right now, which is still closed off because of a power line that snapped at the top from the strong winds. I had the chance to speak with some homeowners on what looks like it's going to be a long cleanup process. On every corner of this Fort Smith neighborhood lays trees, roofing, and debris in the storm's path.
I'm a person that just comes out and wants to look. I didn't think it would ever hit me.
One local woman says as she heard the storm coming, she knew this one was different than others, and that even though her roof and carport are partially gone, she's thankful to have what's most important to her safe.
I still have my family. You know, that's all you can ask for. You know, this is here, but you have them. That's all you can do.
As we were talking, cars were constantly passing through this area. Strangers coming through, asking if everyone's okay and seeing if there's any way they can help.
They're going to help one another.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Another man who lives in the area with the most damage described his own street as a war zone. After the storm passed, he was shocked by the aftermath.
And I looked out one of my windows, and we have a basketball goal that's turned over, and then I come in and looked out my kitchen window, and I said, oh no, the tree's down, and it's on top of the car.
He was just one of the many homes on his street with full-size trees completely uprooted from the strong winds.
You know, it happened real quick, just like that, and you don't realize how much damage is done until I walked out and you see all these big old trees that are just picked up and laid down, just like toothpicks.
He says his car can be replaced. He is most thankful his family is safe.
You know, you don't think much about it until something like this really happens.
The streets down in this area are pitch black because most of these homes are still without power. And I spoke to some people down here who say they expect to spend the next few days cleaning up and helping out their neighbors in any way they can. Live in Fort Smith, covering news where you live, Juliana Clipson, 5 News.
All right, Juliana, thanks. The Red Cross estimates as many as 40 homes were damaged in Sebastian County alone at today's storms. The agency offering help for people cleaning up tonight. If you need shelter, maybe some food, maybe some tarps to cover up your roof, you can call them at 783-3932, 783-3932. We've got this information on our website as well at 5newsonline.com. Check out this amazing video that was caught on camera in the River Valley. A 5 News viewer capturing video driving in Barling. See that right there, that flash of debris just flying right across the street in front of him? Powerful winds with this storm. It's one of a number of reports of damage we've gotten throughout the area in Barling tonight. We did speak to one woman in Barling who described terrifying moments when she helped her grandchild out of harm's way just seconds before a tree crashed through their home. Frida White was moments after power went out in her home. She said she looked outside and noticed the trees bending. Instinct set in, she says, and she grabbed her 1-year-old grandchild as quickly as she could. And just seconds later, she says, the tree came crashing down.
There's a little closet that's in my hallway that it's about this tall. I just kind of shoved her into the closet and put my back against it and just prayed through the whole thing.
She said that she grabbed her off the couch just in time for the tree had fell, and it's just a grace of God.
Family says Northwest Tree Service came out to help get a tarp to cover openings in the roof from that damage. Homeowners in Greenwood also sharing stories with us about today's severe weather. This is video of a home that got damaged when a metal pole sent flying into the roof. My goodness, it's one of many homes in the town that sustained some damage, and the homeowner tells us they're grateful that nobody was seriously injured during that scary ordeal.
The surprising thing that to me is the piece of metal that stuck through my roof, which is on one side of the house, and the metal building, and everything else is on the right side. As a contractor, you know we had to have swirl for it to move and actually just ram it through the roof.
Yeah. Other people in the Greenwood area also assessing damage with numerous reports of downed trees and power lines in Greenwood. And check out this video taken tonight in Mulberry. The owner of the home says he was watching the storm through his back door when he heard a loud crack and a tree come crashing down on his home, caused his roof to cave in. Fortunately, again, nobody was hurt in that. Winds also scattered trees across Charleston. We've received a number of reports from viewers that talked about scattered debris along Highway 60. Property owners in the area say they expect to spend the next several days cleaning up in that area. Pretty much every county in our viewing area affected by this storm in some way. We're learning that to the extent thanks to the photos that you have been sending us all day today, and we thank you for that. Let's start in Franklin County with some folks or with some photos. We got some amazing pictures. This one from Sheriff Anthony Bowen there. This is very interesting. This just shows you how the winds were so powerful. Happened on Highway 23 south of Ozark. Part of that truck just peeled back like an accordion, just hanging off the back. Thankfully, nobody injured in that report. Also in Franklin County, a ton of tree damage. 5 News viewer Jennifer Crabtree sending this video of some damage in the Altus area. You saw a lot of this spread throughout the entire area today. It was pretty common across all counties. Emergency responders there say several roadways were blocked with downed trees. Again, thankfully, no reports of any serious injuries. And just to the west, Crawford County also dealing with a lot of tree cleanup. Winds enough to completely uproot trees like you see here in Mulberry. That was a gigantic tree that came uprooted. Unfortunately, some of those trees landed on homes and buildings. This photo also coming to us from Mulberry in the Spring Street area. We're told emergency responders were actually going door to door in that area, in those neighborhoods, to make sure everybody was okay. Before these storms made their way into Arkansas, they were wreaking havoc in Oklahoma, especially in LaFleur County, especially in the Poteau area. Actually, photos of a home belonging to a family member of meteorologist Matt Standards is what you're looking at here. This one on the east side of Poteau. Emergency management there saying a lot of big trees went down today, along with a lot of power lines in the Poteau area. In Washington County, the worst of the damage there is likely in Prairie Grove. Storm system left behind a ton of work for police and firefighters. They report multiple streets blocked by downed trees and power lines. Most of those roads, though, have been cleared. They released several photos like this showing just what they're dealing with. They are going to be dealing with this kind of cleanup for the next several days. And storm damage stretching all the way into Benton County as well. This large tree taken down in Bella Vista. Unfortunately, a lot of trees down in Bella Vista leading to situations like this. They landed either on homes or on cars. Benton County reporting several cases of trees landing on homes. Needless to say, a very long night ahead of them. A very long day tomorrow and probably the next couple of days. As for Johnson County, some scattered tree branches, some power line damage. This video coming from 5 News viewer Maddie Mays in Clarksville as the rain was just absolutely coming down in buckets. Wind gusting there as well. No injuries or major structural damage, though, reported in Johnson County, thankfully. As for other parts of the area, Madison County reporting a few downed trees. Some covering county roads, no major damage there. In Logan County, the jail had to temporarily use a backup generator after losing power, and the county's 911 system went offline for a short amount of time. No reports of any major injuries or major damage there as well. You can get the latest weather conditions where you live, anytime, anywhere, as they happen. You can download our 5 News app. It's free for both Apple and Android devices. The son of Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson has been arrested again. Asa Hutchinson III arrested in Rogers during a traffic stop. Hutchinson was taken into the Benton County Sheriff's Office on a DWI charge. There's no word yet on a court date for Asa III.
Still tracking strong storms across southern Leflore County. They're not severe, but you may hear some more thunder tonight. We're looking at this, plus the next very strong storm system. It gets here next week. It could also bring more tornado warnings. That's coming up.
You're watching 5 News, where more people get their news at 10.